Hi, my name's Sandra and I'm going to speak to you today about Fibroids, the Moringa Reset as part of the Understand to Heal series. I am not a doctor, neither am I a healthcare professional, but I am a nutritionist who has previously suffered from fibroids, and I'd just like to share with you some of my experiences on how I brought about healing. So today we will be looking at relapse. What is relapse? Is it part of the healing process? What are the symptoms you can expect? Don't panic when you go into that period of relapse. Look at what has worked historically for you before, and we'll look at a research study and how we can apply that to diet as therapy. Look at ways to monitor your progress and some of the complications that can result as a part of the relapse, and we'll conclude with a summary. Relapse. So unfortunately, when treating fibroids, nutritionally, relapse can be part of the healing process. This is because your innermost female reproductive organs are all directly linked can be affected by the stresses of life, and which can actually override your wellness. So some of the stresses can be you're feeling uncertain about any kind of situation, or you might be making unhealthy diet choices, or you might have irregular eating patterns. All of these things can have a direct impact on your uterine health. So what are the symptoms? Well, I would suggest that women are really vulnerable around their menstrual cycle because they are naturally in a situation where they are losing blood. And this is because in the Bible it even states this: the life of the flesh is in the blood. And that is why when you go to the doctors or you go to the hospital, the first thing they want to do is take your blood to see what's happening. And so if you have an excess of menstrual bleeding that occurs longer than maybe 7 days, that is something that's quite significant. It's important. So don't ignore the symptoms. Take immediate defensive nutritional action. Yeah. However, we have a mind as well. So one of the things you've got to realize is not to panic. So the natural response would be, oh, I'm worried because what does this mean? What should I do? I don't know what to do. But this will send the wrong signals to your cells, yeah, and it could make the condition worse. So instead, just take a deep breath, step back, yeah, and consider, what have I done nutritionally or otherwise in the past that has helped resolve the heavy menstrual bleeding? So you have to draw on your historical breakthroughs. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And you're looking at what has brought about healing. And if it's worked before, then there's a good chance it's going to work again. So at that point, go back to square one. And what square one for me means looking at looking to the higher self, looking towards the spiritual path, looking towards my creator to see what I can download, what information I can obtain that would help me go forward to my healing. And so when I look at herbs, so for me that meant looking at herbs. So the herb that I looked at was moringa, which I've had some success in using it in the past. So I looked at what the science said about it as well. So moringa, as this review study, looked at it and looked at it as an overview as a promising healer. So what it highlighted is that it had many medicinal benefits, some of that being that moringa had an antimicrobial benefit. It was also anti-inflammatory, anti-tumor, and also protect the vital organs such as the cardiovascular system and also the liver, hepatic system. It also had a long history of use. It's been used in traditional medicine in Asia and also in Africa as well. And in the study, it highlighted that on a nutritional value, weight by weight, it was quite a heavy hitter, should we say. So if you compared it with the calcium in milk, there was 4 times as much in fresh moringa than there was in milk. Also, if you compared it with the vitamin C content in oranges, there was 7 times as much in the leaf. Also potassium, when you compared that to bananas, it had 3 times the amount of potassium than in bananas. And also the provitamin A content, which is the beta carotene, it had 3 times more beta carotene than that found in carrots. And the iron content was 2 times as much than what was found in spinach. And that was what it showed on the micronutrient content. On the macronutrient content, one of the things it showed that for protein, it had twice as much protein in it than that could be consumed from drinking milk in like for like weight. So if we applying that diet as therapy, what we see is moringa can be used in the dried form, and that way it's usually used in teas. That's how I like to use it. But it's also available in the fresh form as well and in supplement form. It can be added to food, and by adding it to food, it improves the overall nutritional value of the food consumed. So anything, if you're introducing a new product, it's always good to monitor. Okay, but moringa is a really good natural first line defense to correct nutritional imbalances. However, it should be used on a short-term basis, as especially if you're trying to conceive, it can have an impact on fertility levels. So think of it more as a reset rather than to use it as habitual use, because it does have medicinal properties. And also discontinue to use it if you find that you have any allergic conditions, any allergic reaction occurs. And monitor, as you're monitoring any form of diary. This is one we produce. This is a 3-day food diary that is available to purchase, and I'll leave the link, and there is also a free version available as well. Okay. Complications. We have to think about complications, because if you have had an extended menstrual cycle, it's a good idea to keep a log of when you're the first day of your monthly period. It might have meant that you had heavy bleeding, and if it has been prolonged heavy period, and from that I mean anything that's post 7 days, it may put you at risk of iron deficiency anemia, which is very serious. So you should check your iron stores, which is the ferritin level, and supplement with iron as advised. Yeah, so this log as well is also available as a link to just monitor your cycle, your monthly cycle. So in summary, relapse is an integral part of the natural healing process. Symptoms of heavy menstrual bleeding should not be ignored. Don't panic. Track it to learn the dis-ease behavior of this heavy menstrual bleeding symptom. Moringa is a high nutrient herb that can be supplemented to the diet to correct nutritional imbalances. And you should contact your doctor or healthcare provider if symptoms persist to avoid critical anemia. So thank you, and please subscribe. Just a short disclaimer to this information is for presentation purposes only. Further research is recommended to assist you in making an informed health decision. It is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your medical regime to manage your condition. So to your wellness.